What's up, guys? So today we are going to be answering the question, which character is the best in Marvel Future Revolution? And the answer is Spider-Man. Thank you guys very much for checking out this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe. I'm just kidding. Just roll the intro. Alright, so today we are going to be answering the question, which character is the best in Marvel Future Revolution? And the reason that we're answering this question is because it comes up a lot. It is one of the first questions I get from almost every viewer on my streams. Everyone wants to know who's the best character. So, real quick, just to let you know that I kind of know what I'm talking about. My name is Khasino. If you haven't already heard of me, I was one of the first 10 players in the world to reach a level 100 character, which you can see here. I got my Captain Marvel up to level 100. As for rankings and stuff, I could be doing a little bit better, but I'm inside of the top 100 players in all the game modes right now. In particular, I really enjoy PvP, so I'm ranked 33 currently in Omega War and ranked 13 in Dimensional Duel. I was able to hit Avenger, which is like the top ranking that you can hit in Dimensional Duel, so I'm pretty familiar with the current state of the end game, at least in these first week or two of Marvel Future Revolution. So I'm going to give you my answer to this question. And my answer to this question is, it's a terrible question that people shouldn't be asking. And I know that that's a really disappointing answer. Everyone was waiting with bated breath, like, come on, just say it's Iron Man, say it's Iron Man. The thing is, in this game, they're not really characters. You can think of them more like classes. So, if any of you guys have played other MMOs like World of Warcraft, it's like saying, what's the best class? Is it tank? Is it cleric? Is it paladin? Is it healer? Is it mage? Is it bard? Whatever it is. I don't know the classes in World of Warcraft. That may be obvious here. But anyway, they're classes. They're not characters. So, you know, what's better, a rogue or a tank? Well, they do completely different things. So it's not fair to evaluate them like that. So that's the first thing, is you shouldn't be looking at them like characters. They're not characters. Another reason that people really shouldn't be asking this question is because the individual characters themselves excel at different things. So it depends on how you're grading them, right? Some of the game modes are completely different. 1v1 early game, because this being the first couple of weeks, this is still early game, even for the whales. So 1v1 early game PvP is completely different than how much DPS someone can put down on a raid boss, which is completely different than how much AoE damage someone can put down in like a special operation or something like that. So characters excel at different things. Another reason people shouldn't be asking this question is because you can build the characters differently. For example, some of the high-end Spider-Men are built completely different. Some have gone really heavy on the dodge and the avoidance and the defense, and they're just really slippery and it's hard to land too much damage on them. Whereas some of the other Spider-Men have really gone in on the control effects and the debuff accuracy, and they're doing a lot of stuns and slows and guard breaks, and they play completely differently, and they achieve different things and different levels of success in different game modes. And also, some characters are more early game friendly and some characters are much more late game friendly. And I'll show you what I mean. But another reason people really shouldn't be asking this question, it's just way too early to know how everything is going to shake out, because specializations are huge. Specializations are going to vastly change the landscape of how every character in this game performs. So even if you can kind of predict how the specializations are going to come into play, it's really hard to see it in practice. And so besides the fact that the characters, again, are all supposed to just be good at different things, and therefore there's no point in really comparing them one to one, the more important factor is they are going to experience a lot of change. So I'll show you what I mean. So I play Captain Marvel, and one thing that I've put together pretty quickly is that Captain Marvel breaks late. What I mean by that is, by the time I have really filled out my specializations, my Captain Marvel is going to perform completely differently. Right now, for example, I think Captain Marvel is not in a great spot for Dimensional Duel. I don't think it's really her strong suit. And the reason why is because she is all about her ultimate. If you're not familiar with her ultimate, short version is she becomes invincible as soon as she activates it for a short amount of time. Then she launches a ginormous AoE that does insane damage. I want to say it's like almost 2,000% damage. and it's a massive area, just nukes people. Then she has 20 seconds of 50% increased attack where she just hits like a truck, and she has 20 seconds of complete and total debuff immunity. As soon as she pops that ult, she essentially goes God mode. So it's a lot about how often can she actually use her ultimate. And these are things where currently in a dimensional duel, if I try to stall for the full minute and a half that lasts, I might get to the point where in the last few seconds, I can press the ult. However, as we have more time to play the game, I can slowly accrue more gear that gives me, for example, ultimate skill gauge recovery, and I will be able to ult much earlier because I'll be generating essentially the energy for my ultimate much more quickly. So I'm going after the Omega card sets and the Blitz badges and rolling on the gear that gives me those stats. But right now, I have to take what I can get, so I have very little of that stat. And there's a lot of other mechanics as well. She has some specializations that'll allow her to use an ability which gives her more ultimate energy, but essentially her ult is a major part of her kit that it plays around, and it doesn't even come into play in Dimensional Duel currently. And I think a month or two from now, that won't be the case. But I want to show you what I meant when I said the specializations are going to change things. Not every character has crazy changes in their specializations, but many do. Captain Marvel in particular, so what you're looking at, you can see here over to the right, I have one equipped active trait. I'm not going to do a full breakdown of the specialization system. I'll just say that the active traits are really what you're looking at. Everything else that's not one of these big boxes is essentially a flat stat bonus. So you can see here, that's defense plus 77, critical damage 1.7%. It's a lot of flat stats. But the active abilities here, which you can have up to 4 equipped at a time, can completely change the way this character is handled. So in no particular order, let's look at this one. So this one here, I've already been putting points into it, and every level, it adds 5% more ultimate skill gauge recovery. When this is maxed, she will have 50% more ultimate skill gauge recovery. That's a lot. That is a significantly faster and therefore more frequent uptime on her ultimate. She also has this one over here, if we wanted to use it, which increases the duration of self-granted buffs by 3.5%. When this one is at max, it will increase the duration of her self-granted buffs 35%, which is again a lot more uptime on her massive extra attack bonus from her ult, a lot of uptime on her complete and total debuff immunity. There's a lot of perks to that. Some of the other crazy ones. Let's look at this one right here. This one recovers HP 3.3% when using an escape skill, which is like a guard break recovery or just the dodge away. At max, that's going to heal her for 33% of her max health every time she presses dodge. That is an insane amount of innate healing. She's just going to become a lot safer, and she's going to be able to stall out matches so much longer to be able to use her ultimate. Combine that with something like this. Decreases damage received by 2.4% when HP is 30% or below. I don't know what the HP threshold is going to scale to, but at some HP percentage threshold, she's going to reduce all incoming damage by 24% at max whenever she's below a certain amount of health. So in addition to healing giant amounts when dodging, she's just going to be a lot harder to kill immediately as soon as she gets kinda low, which is going to buy her time. Another good one is going to be something like this, where she'll recover dodge gauge by, this is going to go up to 40% when she uses any of her light speed movement skills. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'll cover one more of these. I'm not going to go over them all, but as you can see, they're very, very impactful. So this one, when she gets crit, she'll become invincible for currently 2 seconds and restore 3.5% of full HP. Again, there's no way to know yet what the fully maxed one is going to look like, but I'm going to guess that it's 20 seconds of invisibility as soon as she gets crit, and also healing for 35% of her health. And things like that are going to make her so much more naturally tanky, and they're going to allow her to simply accomplish a lot more by stalling out matches and being so much harder to kill until her ult comes around. Being able to use her ult in a duel is going to change everything because her whole kit is centered around her ult. So essentially what I'm saying is, judging Captain Marvels on what they can do today isn't even fair to the Captain Marvels, forgetting how those Captain Marvels build and forgetting what the Captain Marvel himself is trying to accomplish, which is going to be totally different than a character like Captain America, who's going to get tons of defensive bonuses and is going to be all about essentially maintaining threat on a lot of the raid mobs. Or characters like Star-Lord, who has really, really good buffs for his entire team and anyone around him. Or characters like Doctor Strange, who has some really, really potent control effects. A lot of the characters do different things, and it's not fair to evaluate them as simply who's the best, because in short, who's the best character in Marvel Future Revolution? All the characters are the best characters in Marvel Future Revolution. And it depends what you're trying to do. Alright, and finally, I want to leave you guys with a list of content creators that you guys can check out if you're looking for specialized information on specific characters. So, in no particular order, these are just the content creators that I'm aware of. If you are a content creator maining one of these characters and you weren't included in the list I'm about to drop, just shoot me a PM on Discord or email me, whatever you want, and I will include you in future videos. But again, in no particular order, if you're trying to get more familiar with Captain Marvel, you have any questions on her, you can definitely check me out. I stream on Twitch every day, and of course I put out YouTube videos. If you're trying to get more familiar with Doctor Strange, you can definitely check out Seatin, that's Seatin, the legend himself. If you're trying to get more familiar with Storm, there are actually a lot of Storm creators. So again, no particular order. You have Cynicalex, who also covers Marvel Future Fight. You have DarthMicro, who some people know as DarthMicro Transaction. And you have Lunatic1369. Those are all content creators that cover Storm. As far as Captain America, I only know of a couple. There's Chewburger84, who I believe is on Twitch and YouTube. And there's RemanX, who I think is also Twitch and YouTube. As far as Black Widow, I don't actually know a specific Black Widow content creator. However, I do know the essentially #1 dimensional duel player who is a Black Widow player. His name is Kigerr, and he regularly hangs out in my chat. So, Kigerr, if you're in the chat, type something and it'll go in the video. But yeah, if you have any questions about Black Widow, you can usually reach Kigerr through my stream, at least until another Black Widow content creator emerges. But Kigerr is a very, very knowledgeable Black Widow, so definitely shoot him any questions about that. As far as Star-Lord, I only know a couple content creators covering Star-Lord at all. There's TonyScungili, which is TonyScungili, and he's on Twitch and YouTube. And Null as well, who I think also goes by Kraken Null. As far as Ironman, right now I only know of one content creator covering Ironman, and that is Halfsend. And finally, as far as Spider-Man, the only content creator that I know with a level 100 Spider-Man is DarthMicro. You can check him out for Spider-Man questions as well. But alright, so this video has gone on long enough. I hope I was able to better explain why you shouldn't be too worried about who the best character is in Marvel Future Revolution. But that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. So on that note, please be sure to like, subscribe, and holler if you see Red Skull, and I will see you guys real soon. Until next time, peace!